sentence in the Bible. I don't know why. I made the connection, must have been the Holy Spirit, but that's where I kind of got the manifestation as a myth, because as women, we have so much beautiful, juicy, life-flowing feminine energy that sometimes it can get lost in the masculine energy side. Hello, and welcome back to the channel, the Elevated Women's Podcast. Again, thank you for joining. I am so excited for another episode. It seems like every time I get on here, I'm just so excited. Like I come to life trying to help women give these lessons and just really share what I've learned through life, through the Bible, through my own lived experiences, and I just know that it's going to help someone. So welcome back if you are a returning subscriber, and if you're new, I am so excited to have you because we have something to talk about and something to dissect today. And again, it is going to be from a biblical perspective because I have been learning the most. When I do my Bible studies, when I'm going through this transformation, honestly, when they say the Bible is a living word, it really is. Things have been jumping out to me and they have been making sense to me finally, and they are so applicable to our life, our work, our day-to-day interactions with each other, and I just have to share them. So we are going to get into it today, and we have something else to think about, okay, as we go into this new transformative era that I know if you're watching this, you are on, because you're always elevating, you're always creating, you're always trying to up-level yourself, and I just thank you again for being here. So today's Bible verse that we are going to dissect is Genesis chapter 1, verse 3. Then God said, that's it, okay? That is all we are dissecting for this entire episode, and I need you to bear with me because it's going to get good. So this to me is very powerful because it shows you right away that words are very powerful. We are made in the image of God. We are not God. We cannot just speak things into existence and have them come true for us like He did. He spoke into existence the heavens and the earth, and then He created all the things that existed on the earth after that. We are not that, okay? However, we get this from the text stating that, okay, since we are created in His image, words are very powerful. We understand that. You can speak life or you can speak death over a situation or a problem or a challenge or an idea. Like that does happen. However, words without any action behind it is very difficult for us because, yes, we are made in His likeness, but we're going to talk about it. We are given tools in order to execute on the things that we want. So manifestation in itself, which is just the speaking and thinking into existence, is a myth. Without the action, there is no manifestation. Nothing's going to happen, right? Like everything happens in an order, and you can think it, you can visualize it, you can speak about it, but then what are the steps and what is the plan that you are going to take in order to make that manifestation and that goal and that thought come to life? That is what we are going to talk about today. So since we are not God and we can't just speak things into existence, we have to take a bit of a different approach. However, we do have to realize that God gave us all the tools that we need in order to make whatever we want come to fruition. And how powerful is that? So He gave us a brain to think, create, and imagine anything possible that we could ever want. And He gave us free will so we can pursue multiple passions if that's what we want. And we can have the autonomy to make our own decisions and our actions and be consistent to accomplish whatever we want. And a lot of us are so fortunate to have a body that we can move freely and do whatever we want with. We also have a mouth that we can use to convey thoughts and ideas to other people. And we have hands that we can use to create things of value and importance. So we have so many gifts, so many tools to really build on that manifestation or that goal of whatever we want. So we don't just have the privilege of speaking into existence what we want, but He's given us so many things that we can use to create with and build the things that we really want out of life. So what I got from that piece of text is that manifestation without action is a myth. It's not going to happen. And there always has to be a delicate balance between what you think and what you want and then how you're actually going to make that happen and create a plan behind it. So it actually got me thinking because there's another creator that I love to follow. Her name's Alexis, and she teaches about feminine energy. So she's a inner work and feminine energy coach. She's been so inspiring to me on my journey. But she just put out a video recently that I think it's something like balancing the masculine and feminine. And she makes a reference in that video that made so much sense to me after I read that one sentence in the Bible. I don't know why. I made the connection, must have been the Holy Spirit, but that's where I kind of got the manifestation as a myth, because as women, we have so much beautiful, juicy, life flowing feminine energy that sometimes it can get lost in the masculine energy side. And if we're not careful, it can really kind of take over, and we can just lean so much into the feminine energy that we completely neglect the masculine energy. And the masculine energy is the work behind all the manifestations, all the thinking, all the creating, all the free flowing feminine energy that you have. And she makes an analogy that the balance is like an egg. And I loved it because she's saying that the yolk and egg white inside the egg are like the feminine energy. They're free flowing, they're very fluid. However, if you just have the yolk and the egg white outside of the shell, which is the masculine energy that holds it all in and holds it all together, it's just going to be a blob on the ground. It's not going to be able to do anything. It can't, hold itself up. You have to have that masculine energy and that structure behind what you're saying and what is actually being done to create it and manifest it in your world. So manifestation without action is absolutely a myth. And it's between the balance of that feminine and masculine energy that we have, ladies, because every woman has masculine energy. It doesn't matter if you think you don't, if you think you have no structure, you're all free flowing creativity. If that is the case, then it's going to be really difficult for most of us to get things done. And I'm coming from a space, honestly, where I didn't think I had any feminine energy, any creativity, any depth to my thoughts. And now I'm finally tapping into that amazing feminine, creative life force energy. And it feels so good because I've always had the masculine energy, the structure, the step-by-step plan to get it all done. And that's not good either. It's all a balance, and it all has to be done in tandem, really. So since we're not God and we can't just speak things into existence, but he gave us all the tools, the mind, the mouth, the body, everything, the tools, the hands, everything that we need to create from a space of creativity, which we all have within us. We all have a balance of feminine and masculine energy. He gave that to us because it's important for us to find that balance, because without any structure, creativity is lost. However, without any creativity, structure is also lost. And it's just a delicate balance between the two. But again, she made such a beautiful analogy between it. And for some reason, that passage called out to me like, okay, I cannot just say things and expect them to happen. I actually have to have the structure and the plan behind it, but I have to strike a balance between what that means to actually be creative and rest, and then actually work to have things that I want come to fruition. So don't get me wrong, words are incredibly powerful, and this text shows you that they are. However, what I am finding the balance in right now in my life, that I'm sure many of us are, is striking that balance between the feminine and masculine energy, which is how am I going to get everything done that I want to get done in life for my goals without losing myself completely, without losing myself to the metrics or the followers, and sacrificing my relationship with God, because it's really important for me to study the text, read daily, pray daily. Like, those are big things that take up time in my day. And I need all of these things collectively in order for me to structure the life that I want. However, how do I do this without losing myself to the bigger picture? Without losing myself to the person that I want to become, without losing myself to, comments, likes, follows, shares, unshares. Like, how do I go on this journey and make everything happen that I want without completely getting caught up and having one of those energies, whether that be the feminine or the masculine, whether it be the creative side or the structure, take over completely because I put myself in another survival mode, which that will be a whole separate video. I did another one on survival mode and breaking your self-created survival mode. And I just really think you should watch it because, again, we all create a survival mode at one point in our life. It's just human nature because this world is so crazy and chaotic with social media, news, media in general, just life, family, friends. Like things are so easy to get caught up in that you just feel like, where am I? What am I doing for myself lately? Who am I trying to become? Things can happen so easily and it can really shift your perspective in like an instant. So how do I find that balance and how do I strike it? And that is what we're going to talk about right now because I want you ladies to be incredibly successful when you're going on this transformation journey. Because again, you can't just say things, you can't just think things. You will have this defeated mindset if you don't have the masculine energy structure behind it to get it all done, and then striking that balance between the feminine and the masculine. It's going to be imperative. It's going to be so important. So I'm going to teach you how right now. So the first thing that you can do in order to get out of this manifestation is the only way that I'm going to make things happen. Make a list. Make a list of all the amazing, great things that you've already done up to this point, because I know you have them. And the quickest thing to kind of derail you off of this journey, which manifestation is great, again, if you have the action behind it to make it happen. However, so many of us just think or we say things to people and then we get discouraged when we haven't put any action behind it, and we have this defeated mentality and this defeated mindset. And it makes us very vulnerable to wanting to try anything new. It makes us distracted. It makes us get carried away and try to overcomplicate things, whatever that next task is for you. So I found it really helpful when you can already make a list of like 10 things that you've done that you're proud of, or that you've outsourced, whether that be a business task like editing your videos or managing your social media, or maybe if you did something in your personal life that you're very proud of and you helped your family with something, or you were able to help out financially to a family member, like just put it down on paper because you should be proud of it, number one. And just look at all the amazing things that you've already done with that masculine energy structure and that action behind it, because it wouldn't have happened without you putting it in action. Another thing though I want you to do is look at that list and see how you can make things easier on yourself. Easy example for me is that I've been wanting to start a YouTube channel for ever, right? And I don't think I was ready. Like, I don't think that I should have been on YouTube years and years ago. Like, I've been working on myself so much over these past few years that I was not ready. I can already see that from previous videos that I uploaded. I didn't know what I wanted to do, what I wanted to talk about. I thought certain things that I wanted to talk about were taboo, or how are people going to think? And I just cared way too much. I cared way too much. So I was not ready. So I let that stop me. But now with this coming in, doing more religious, spiritual content, more self-improvement, elevation, transformation content, I'm like, okay, I feel good. This is my lane right now. I really wanted it to happen. Talk about manifestation, trying to make myself a YouTuber years ago in my head. It didn't happen. I had no action behind it. And when I think back on it, it's kind of funny because I used every excuse in the book not to put something out. And what I told myself this time, I'm like, no, I am hiring a video editor because I know me. As I can make the content, I feel great. I'm in this amazing creative space. However, I don't like editing videos. I do not. It does not interest me at all whatsoever. Everybody who can do it, I think it's phenomenal. So what I did was put out a job description on Upwork, and I pay someone $20 a video to edit and just piece together all the things that I send him, because I just know myself. I'm not going to want to do it. That masculine energy structure that tells me, okay, I made the content, the free flowing stuff is just flowing out of me. It feels so good. The creativity is coming, but I don't have any desire to edit this video. And I know that if I were left to being the one to do it, I would never have a YouTube channel. So just think about how you can make things easier. Yes, it may cost you a little money up front. Yes, it may cost you a little time up front. But how in the world can you progress? How can you make those manifestations, those dreams, those goals that you have a reality if you don't first think on how to make that easier? Because I already know you're going to have a list. You're going to have a list of amazing things you have already accomplished. And you did it. You did it. Like, you put that on your list if you did it. However, how are you going to make it easier for yourself? If God only has to speak and something is created, he's giving it the power to you as well. You can ask someone for help. You can put a job description out on Upwork. You can use someone on Fiverr to help you do administrative tasks that you don't want to do in order to make your dreams and your goals a reality. I'm telling you this because I have been there. Everything is clicking for me now. You can direct, you can delegate, you can speak, use those gifts that you have, use that mouth, use that brain to express the creative vision that you have in your head, and outsource and make it easier on yourself. Okay, so the next thing I want you to do is write out a list of everything that you have that is within your control, because I know that there's something else you are thinking of that you want to start, that you want to build, that you want to contribute to, that you want to do. So whatever that goal is, whatever that manifestation is that you want to come to life, think about that. But now write out a list of everything that you have that is within your control. And I'm going to spare you the time that it's going to take to write out that list, because the only thing you can control is you, okay? You can only control your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, your feelings, your consistency, your discipline. There's nothing else you control. You cannot control who likes, who comments, who follows, who is impressed by you, who likes you, who wants to promote you, who wants to put you on their podcast. You can't control that. So you might as well remove that from your thoughts. Just write down what you are in control with, and then think about what you can do with that. Like I talked about all of our gifts, our mind, our mouth, our body, our hands. There are so many things you have that you are within your control, and they're very powerful if you would only put them to good use, right? So think about that. Make sure you have a plan. Write out what you can control, and then what is it going to take for you to make that manifestation come to life? So after all this, if you are still struggling with having your manifestations come to life, I want you to focus on the being. So in another video, I probably will link below, where I talk about you are the creator and the teacher, I talk about the life formula, which is the be, do, have. So be fruitful, do, multiply, and have dominion. That is in the Bible. That is the formula for how you will accomplish anything that you want to on this earth. You cannot just have. You have to go through, I am becoming the person now that is able to do the thing that is going to allow me to have my desire. That is the equation. So when you're just manifesting and you're thinking, oh, I would love to make $1 million a year. When you think about it, what have you created or what have you done in your life that would free up space, like energetically, to allow you to be able to hold and attract and provide something of significance to someone else, something of value that would create that $1 million a year revenue generation that you now want? So if you are not that person that can hold $1 million a year in revenue because you haven't created anything of significance, because you haven't worked on becoming the person that can create something of significance, then that's where we have to start. And I'm telling you this from my perspective. There have been so many things I have started, again, that I tried to start before I was ready, and they didn't work. And that's okay. Like, nothing is wrong with it. It's just that we have to get more comfortable with the being aspect and not just the having aspect. We all want things. We all want to have things. However, there is a process. There's things that you have to do in order to get to the level to be able to have the things you want sometimes. Not every time, right? Not all of us want $1 million, right? But it's important to just realize, because that's a simple example, but it's important to realize that there are a lot of steps that happen in between. And when you're transforming as a person, as a woman, and you're just elevating, you want to focus more on the being, because that's going to be the most rewarding part of any journey that you go on when you can actually say, okay, I am now in a place where I'm ready to receive all the things that I thought of, want, and promise myself. That's powerful. So I really do hope that this helped someone. I am not trying to be rude and tell you that manifestation does not work, because that is also false. Manifestation without action is going to be hard to achieve. Not to say it's impossible, but it is going to be a lot harder. So when you think about it, just work on the balance in life, because that's all life is. We are unfortunately not God. We can't just speak things into fruition and creation. However, if you learn how to balance your feminine and your masculine energy, you realize that the feminine energy is like manifestation. However, the shell of that egg that we talked about earlier is the masculine energy that is going to make happen whatever the feminine energy wants. You will be unstoppable. And I'm telling you that because I've never felt this good in my life. Granted, I'm successful in some areas of my life and I'm aspiring to be successful in others, but this is a journey. I'm enjoying the process. I'm just working on becoming the person that I want to be, working on my confidence, my self-esteem, combating the limiting beliefs. I have a vision for me in my head, and I'm just so proud because I'm becoming that woman every single day. And that is all I want for you beautiful ladies on this channel. So thank you so much for joining. Until next time, I have lots of things to go over, not just from a biblical perspective, but just in life in general. So let me know in the comments if there's anything that you would like me to touch on, and I will be happy to review them and talk about them soon. Until next time.